Welcome back, or welcome to another edition of Nain's Shorts. Thank you for joining me once again. For those of you who have liked and subscribed, all that, and those who haven't, please do so. But thank you very much for watching, and specifically this one. This is a bit of a special show because we have a bit of an announcement. There's been some changes that have been happening here at Physique Magnifique. Actually, it's the biggest catalyst as to where all this is going today and where it's going to go from now on. As you know, we've been at the Physique Magnifique for many years now, as long as I've been training. 10 years. Damn, 10 years. And it's been a hell of a ride. We've seen a lot of great people come through here, and some people not so great. But we've been here because, well, the owners are very welcoming. Jim and Futaba, they've always supported us, and they're going as far as to wanting to support us even more. As classes are starting back up, as we're starting to get a good number of people on a regular basis, they really want to put our name out there. They want people to be able to sign up with the front desk, and then they just let us know, hey, we have students for you. And that's what they do. They help people out. And because this change is happening, they approached us and said, hey, there's some stuff we need to centralize. We need you guys to give us a breakdown on what happens in your class, what's availability, pricing, all that. Oh, and by the way, we need to write down the head instructor. And as soon as Rick heard that, he bolted. I mean, he matrixed his way and he dodged responsibility like a deadbeat dad. And what does he do? He throws his prodigal son in the front of him as a meat shield. So, yes, now I am the head of this particular class. And of course, with that, there were some conversations that had to be had before any of this can become official. So I called Danny and we have a conversation about it. And after that conversation, it really got me thinking. It really got me to start considering what I've actually done in the last 9 years. Because for the first four and a half, almost 5 years, I'd come to class, Danny was at the head of it, but I'd also have private classes with Rico. So I was doing both. I was training with him, I was training with Danny in the group classes. But as time went by, a lot of the people that I started with, college, started going into a career, moved out of state, got married, had kids. So a lot of the people that I trained with originally, actually none of the people that I trained with originally are here other than Rick. So, and then after that, COVID hits. And the classes just stopped altogether, but my training didn't. I continued training. I continued putting the time and effort to do so. Rick and I continued training together. And little by little, it became less of a teacher-student relationship, and it became more of a partnership. One that we're still keeping secret, so please don't tell anybody that him and I are together. Okay, it's more of a partnership in the sense of collaborating. We started collaborating on a lot of the ideas. A lot of the things that I talk about on this show, we worked at together. He came up with an idea, and we would poke holes in it, and I would challenge everything, I would try to find flaws in it, and we would test it out, and it would work. Then we would retest it by teaching it to somebody else. And in that teaching we found, okay, maybe this part isn't needed, maybe we emphasize this part a little bit more, and we tweaked it. Then we retested it, and we continued that process for the last 4 years, him and I, building a lot of the stuff that I now hold dear and true as my teachings, not just because he gave them to me, but because we worked on them together, because I collaborated, I gave my own input. And folks, these last 9 years, half of the effort, as much as I believe I've had great instructors, have great instructors in Rick and Danny, the brief time that I trained with Cito Johnny Oliva, and even now, training with GM Bob Gomez, great instructors. But as we've discussed on the show before, no matter how great the instructor is, if the student doesn't put their effort in, what does that become? And if I don't acknowledge the amount of time that I've put training, the amount of effort that I put outside of class, outside of the conversations that I've had, then I'm doing an injustice to my instructors. I'm disrespecting them in a way, because can't put it on them, because had I failed, had I not achieved anything, had I not gotten better, would it be their fault? No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be their fault. So my successes are also more on me than anything else. And I have to own up to that. And it wasn't until after that conversation with Danny that I really started considering all those things, all the effort that I put into it. Even more so, the influences, the people that I've met through colleague conversation, the professors, the senseis, the gurus, the grandmasters, the great grandmasters, that random guy in the background that we've seen a few times but we had no idea was a martial arts practitioner, turned out to be a really intelligent guy. And all the other people that aren't even martial artists but are professionals in their own right. All their conversations, all their demonstrations, they have affected the way that I view my art, the things that I understand. They've enhanced. Some of them have even pretty much said, hey, you're on the right track. That's exactly where you need to be. That's where your mind should be. And that degree of validation from people that don't do the art that I've trained. And in that sense, I haven't even really trained a specific art. The Bladed Mind was based on Filipino martial arts, but it was not a complete system. But it is Danny's Bladed Mind. And after all these years and all these other outside influences, it's grown into something of my own. And because of that conversation, I now realize that this opportunity, me being put at the head of a class, maybe if it was originally just to be on paper, just because somebody wanted to avoid responsibility themselves. Whatever the reason, if I do not take it as that opportunity, I may not have another one. Because folks, Rick and I have always had the plan that one day Nain will have his own school. But when and where, we had no concept of that. But here's the thing, folks. My martial arts journey has been exactly that, unplanned. There is no set time for me to reach a certain rank. There was no set time for me to reach a certain level. There was none of that. It was just me training and training and training and meeting great practitioners and meeting great instructors and getting influenced by them and having them look at me and say, kid, you got something. Okay, nobody actually said those words verbatim, but you get the point I'm trying to say. And that's been my journey so far. And now all of a sudden we find ourselves in a place where the home, where we've been for so long, is saying, you know what, guys? We need to make this a more of a legit thing. We need to make this more into something concrete. So this is my opportunity to branch out on my own. And again, conversing with Danny, he gave me his blessing to do just that. And with Rick's support and his backing, because he's not going anywhere. He's still going to be here alongside me. He's still going to teach me. He's still going to be mopping the floors and cleaning up after the kids when they're gone. Because maybe that's where he wants to be. But more than anything, it's where I want to be. So I'm here today to announce that I will, from this point forward, be teaching under a different name. And that name is Nain's. Sorry folks, we went through like 3 different names, but the first 2 we kept looking up online and and they were taken, so we were like, damn it, we don't want to get in trouble with anyone. So I didn't want to say the wrong name just now. Give me a second. We're now calling it Nain's Protective Concepts. Yeah, that's what we go. That's the one we landed on. No, that's serious. That's literally how. But it's kind of par for the course, because this is how we are. We just kind of go with the flow. We make things happen as they present themselves. And here we are. Nain is presented with an opportunity. And folks, I'm freaked out of my mind. Seriously. Like, as much as I've grown, as much as this martial arts journey has been my vehicle for self-growth, for self-reflection, to look at myself and say, I don't like that part of you. Fix it, change it, do something. Learn some discipline, learn some self-control, learn some balance. All these things that have helped me become the person that I am today. And Rick being right there along with me in that journey, pushing me, poking me, sometimes dropping me and sadly sometimes slapping me. Now, I mean that both metaphorically and quite literally. But I needed those things to get to where I am today. So yes, from today on, it will be Nain's protective concepts. Because one, yeah, I'm taking ownership of this and I'm running with it. But I don't want it to be limited to just my ideas, which is why the last word is concepts. Because that's all they really are, is just ideas. Things that we can explore and get these students to understand and grow, not for my sake, but for their own. Because this journey has been primarily for myself. Even teaching in itself, level 4, as I learned it. That teaching is going to help me reach my level 5, which is my own way of seeing things, my own way of doing things. And for a while, I have been doing that. And it's not until now that I'm realizing that that's really what I've been doing. I was so caught up in this tunnel vision of I'm just training. I'm just learning new stuff. I'm just meeting new people. I'm just training. That I haven't realized I need to take the time to really look back and see everything that's happened to get me to this point. And I have to take the opportunity, folks. So here I am, Nain's protective concepts from now on. And what I want to instill in the students that we have, and many of which I actually brought into the class. They were introduced to the art through the gym. They talked to me. I presented what we had to offer, and they keep coming back. So yeah, a lot of these people are my students. And I want them to understand more than anything that I want them to be a little bit selfish. And what do I mean by that? I mean that I want them to understand that for me, they literally are the most important people in this room. And I don't mean that as a group, I mean that individually. Each and every one of them has something that they're trying to accomplish, has their reasons for being where they are. And as long as they have that, as long as they show up, I'm gonna give them everything I possibly can to help them along, to get them to learn, to understand to the best of their abilities, not mine, theirs. So they can go out there and be proactive in their own protection, to be safe. Or maybe they just want to learn some of the art. Maybe they just want to move around. Maybe they just want to socialize. Whatever the reason, it's theirs. And I never want to beat them down for any of that. And I never want to tell them that they're wrong. It might not be the right place, the right time for whatever it is that they're bringing to the table. But it doesn't mean that it's not going to be important or useful later on. Because, folks, for those of you who have been watching this show, a lot of what I've been sharing isn't really the training aspect of it, isn't really giving you the right or the wrong of things. It is literally just me. My ideas, the things that I've come across, the concepts that I've questioned and I've recycled in my head over and over again. And some of you have added great comments, which, by the way, please continue to do so for those that do. Because even then, I learned something. I pose a question, I get an answer. Is that answer gospel truth? No, it's just another perspective. So I want these students to feel like their perception, their ideas are valid and important. And I'm just going to teach what I know, what I understand. So thank you very much for my instructors, for everything that you've given me. Thank you for my future instructors, because folks, I'm not done training. I'm not done being a student. I am though freaked out because now I am responsible for some of these students, and that's kind of scary. But it's a challenge I'm looking forward to. And if any of you instructors can give me some insight on when you guys started, when was your first time where you felt like, oh shit, I am here. I am at the front of the class and I gotta know what I'm saying. I gotta know what I'm telling these people. How did it feel? How did it affect you? How has your martial arts improved or not improved because of being in this position? And what are some of the pitfalls that you would think someone who's new to this would need to know? Because seriously, folks, I'm literally asking. Now, it may have been for some of you a long time since you last were the new guy in front of a class, but I'm sure you remember. I'm sure it was impactful. because this is just another step in that journey. I'm very grateful to all of those that helped me get here. And folks, I don't mean just my instructors, just the ones that sat there and gave me lessons. No, I mean all of you that have commented, all of you that watch, all of you that have given me the time to have a conversation. I've learned from every single one of you something. From Master Green, I learned that wherever you go, try to pick up just a little bit, just one nugget of something, and take that with you. And I've done my very best to do that everywhere that I go. So to all of you, as my thanks, I give you my salute. Represents respect. So thank you very much for that. And again, welcome to Nain's Protective Concepts. Well, actually, no, this will still be Nain's Shorts, but you know what I'm talking about. Well, thank you very much for joining me on this very special Nain Short. I hope I get some comments and some guidance from you all in reference to what to do now. And we'll see where this journey goes. Till the next one. 3, 2, 1, cut!